as getting guaranteed hours and getting to work at stores that are closer to their home. So that way they're not driving super far, which it's not that far of an ask considering Santa Clarita has like 50 plus Starbucks out here.
Yeah.
I think we've counted multiple times and something like 37 if you're depending on how you count the little one-off stores inside Target.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they're also striking, I believe, in Long Beach, Seal Beach, and then even down in San Diego, and the downtown Disney location in Anaheim is also on strike. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
I would assume that would that's going to get people's attention. Obviously, pretty high foot traffic there. So
Yeah, so we actually did a full YouTube video as well as just putting a full article information with a lot more information than what I'm actually telling you right now on our website at hometownstation.com, but you could also see that YouTube video on our news and features YouTube. If you guys have never heard of our news and features YouTube, I would definitely say check that out because we cover everything in the Valley. So it's a very great YouTube page to be checking out, but there is a wonderful YouTube link on there that our wonderful intern Exos edited together, and it was just fantastic. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Exos. But while I was talking to the Carl Court Starbucks employees, they were saying that they did reopen. So they reopened this past weekend, and that the employees are saying that they're still going to be on strike until they actually get the agreement with Starbucks. So Starbucks has not agreed to any of their conditions yet, but they're going to continue asking community members to not get Starbucks until they get their agreement.
okay, well, we'll see how well that goes. I mean, like you said, there's 37 other locations, 36 other locations, so
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that, I guess. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back with your Hometown Drive on KHTS, FM 98.1 and AM 1220. And you are listening to your Hometown Drive with your host, Jade Aubuchon, Sophia Lesseos, and myself, Jen Sparks. We have a special guest in studio, one who is very familiar with the on-air doings behind the scene here, the host of Eye on the Valley, which you can hear every Friday here on KHTS, Matt Watson. Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to see you, Jen,
Nice
on
to
a
see you
Thursday.
in the afternoon, too.
Right,
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. So we've got a pretty hefty discussion here that we have to have with Matt, right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and actually, he's here in a very different version than we normally see him as. Normally, you're here representing SCBI, and that's
And
not
I
why
lead
you're
schools,
and I
right?
lead schools, and
We
that's
do our
not
show
why
8
you're
to
here
10
today.
every Friday. Plug,
Shout out
Which you
Agudulce.
should
we go.
absolutely turn into. I love the trivia segment.
There we go.
That's my
Everybody
favorite
loves Big
part.
T's segment. That's the only segment my mom listens to, too.
She turns it off after that. She's like,
Yeah.
I hear enough of Matt.
Right?
But you're actually here on behalf of the Saugus Union School District today because you are a part of the governing board. You are an elected official.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for those
Who the
that
heck
don't know,
voted for
Matt
me? I
is
have no idea.
president, just became president.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I was elected by my colleagues just at our previous board meeting in December. Thank you.
We need a clap button, Jen.
I know. I'll get on it. I got it.
We
need
have
zips
an
and
applause
zings
button,
and-
but
yeah.
we need to put batteries in that thing. Sometimes it lasts way too long.
Matt, so I think that interesting. Well, I asked you last night when it was a very late meeting last night. So we were all a little bit tired from that meeting. I think it was almost 4 hours long. It was like 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking specifically about that meeting, Saugus Union School District is on a search for a new superintendent, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, last night we had our special board meetings as we launch our search for our next superintendent. Dr. Colleen Hawkins, who joined the district, I believe, back in 2018. She's been with us almost 8 years now. She announced her retirement back at the end of November of last year. Her retirement is effective at the end of this school year, so June 30th. She'll be heading off to a well-deserved retirement. And so as a board, it's up to us to start that search and find her replacement, the person that's going to take the helm of the district over the next period of time.
So we did talk a little bit about, this is previous, so probably back a couple months ago, we did talk about Dr. Colleen Hawkins announcing her retirement. This came just a day after an incident that happened with a student that walked away from one of the elementary schools. So
It was the discussion of the incident. The
Correct,
incident happened
yeah.
earlier in the month.
Correct.
Which the superintendent has clarified that in her statement they are not related. So I do want to say timeline-wise, we just want to clarify everything
Correct.
there.
I did want to bring that up though, just because we talked about that on that same day.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that was the only reason why I brought that up. But she just had cited when she, in her retirement piece that she had sent out in the statement, she had cited that she's been an educator for the last 33 years, and 8 of those years has been superintendent for the Saugus Union School District, and she really just wants to spend more time with her family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a grandma now, and her family's
how
growing.
exciting.
She's Dr. Hawkins is a phenomenal educator and has brought tremendous instructional innovation to the Saugus School District. If you Google us, I feel like Kurt Signetti from the University of Indiana. Just Google us, we win, right? If you Google Saugus, our test scores are just off the charts. Our students are learning and growing and far outpacing their peers across the nation. And Dr. Hawkins has brought a lot of initiatives that have led to that success. And she's done so in several different districts as a teacher, as an educational leader, a curriculum designer, assistant superintendent here in Saugus. And now she's going to be a grandma. She's
Amazing.
already a grandma.
Yeah,
but
she's already a grandma.
full-time grandma.
But full-time grandma. Yeah. You know what? Family always comes first. So
Absolutely.
I definitely support her retirement
Yeah.
and her taking that time just to personally be herself.
Yeah, and we do, and we'll continue to thank her for her service and contributions to the success of our district, and wish her well in the future. But we're also, like you said, putting our nose to the grindstone,
Right.
in conducting that search, because
This was a fast search. I'm just gonna that was very quick in my opinion of a turnaround, saying, all right, we got to get this ball rolling.
Well, here's the thing. It's the same thing in my day job. As you mentioned, I work for iLead Schools, and so we're constantly hiring teachers. If you're hiring teachers or principals, school leaders, especially a superintendent, you can't wait until, summer's approaching. If you're waiting till June or July to hire your teachers, much more so your superintendent, you're going to get what's left.
I think we're just a little bit biased because of the ongoing search that College of the Canyons has been
Oh,
going
sure.
through over the last several years,
Yeah.
essentially at this point, which has definitely changed the way that we look at timelines. But yeah, you are correct. And
That's a
every
good
other time
point.
we've talked about superintendent searches, they're usually fairly quick. It especially helps whenever you hire from within the district
Sure.
as well. So what about in your guys' search? What sort of things were you looking for in your candidates?
Well, that's something that we've yet to articulate. What we did last night is we interviewed 3 different search companies.
Thank you.
So typically, what happens in elementary and secondary school districts is you contract with a firm that helps you conduct the search, and these firms are filled with people who are former board members themselves, former superintendents that have connections all across the state, all across the nation, and they help cast this net that will help bring you some incredibly high quality candidates for you to choose from. And then you hit the nail on the head, Jade. You look for that right fit, right?
Right.
Because the expectation is we're going to get hopefully a dozen or more highly qualified candidates, each of whom would be qualified and capable of running a school district successfully. And then from those candidates, we want to choose the person who's the right philosophical and cultural fit for the Saugus Union School District.
So you want to have a hard choice in getting
Oh,
those,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You want somebody who's like, oh man, I really like these 3 candidates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Matt, do you tend to find people coming from other colleges, other high schools? Is there a preference that someone would be looking for, or is it just whatever that net happens to cast?
Well, this is my first time as a board member searching for a superintendent. In fact, the only board member currently on the board that's conducted a search like this before is Chris Trunke. He's the senior member on our board, and he was part of the board that hired Dr. Hawkins. But from what I know, because I've worked in education for over 30 years myself, typically for this type of position, you'll see superintendents from other districts, perhaps smaller districts, perhaps districts in different areas, and they're looking to move into a district that is just like Saugus. This is really among school districts, this is a great job.
Right.
We all know what an amazing place Santa Clarita is to live, and the Saugus Union School District itself is a phenomenal district that's got a track record for success. We receive awards from all over the place every year. It really is a great job when you're a superintendent. So I anticipate superintendents from across the state expressing interest, as well as assistant superintendents who are ready to step up to that next level.
So last night there was 3 different companies that came in and presented. I know that you were saying there was 5 in total that the Saugus Union School District had reached out to.
Correct.
3 actually came in person to show a presentation and basically saying, "Hey, we're the one for the job."
Right.
Can you kind of talk a little bit about that, and we'll go into it even more detail when we come back from break as well.
Sure. So Mr. Trunky and I actually reached out to several different groups at a conference that we were at in early December. And after making several contacts, we reached out. We asked our Assistant Superintendent of HR, Dr. Stevenson, to reach out to 5 different companies and invite them to present. 3 companies chose to present. The 2 that chose not to, there's a number of different reasons. These companies don't like to get too busy. As you can imagine, if you're conducting a search like this, you don't want to have 3 or 4 different projects on the board at the same time. So typically, they'll take on 1 or 2 clients at a time at the most.
Makes sense.
And if they don't feel that they're the right match for our organization, they won't come and present. But we had these 3 prestigious organizations with track records of success come and present to us last night. And again, even just choosing a consultant, Sophia, you were there.
Yeah.
It was a tough decision. We would have been happy hiring either one of the 3 companies. We ultimately chose to go with a company called ESS. It was a unanimous vote, and we're excited to get the process started. I believe we're going to be starting our next series of meetings with them in early February. February 4th we're looking at.
I know. Quick timeline. All right, we're going to head to break. We will be right back.
And you're listening to your Hometown Drive on your hometown station with Jade Aubuchon, Sophia Lesseos, and myself, Jen Sparks. We have Matt Watson still in studio with us this afternoon. And let's pick up where we left off. We kind of had to cut you off a little bit, Matt, I think.
Yeah, no worries at all. In fact, Sophia, you're saying
Yes.
I can go ahead and get my car washed now. I was going to do that yesterday and I ran out of time, but I can wash my car now.
Yeah, we can. You can wash your car. I would say wash your car tomorrow, not tonight.
Oh, okay. Good call.
Yeah.
All right.
But wash your car. Okay, Matt. So I want those that are listening out, wash your cars tomorrow,
There we go.
not tonight.
And don't forget the KHTS does offer coupons where you can
Oh, yeah.
actually get car
You can-
washes half
Yeah.
off.
Y'all have half
Yeah.
off of a lot of stuff, restaurants and
do.
things like that. Okay,
Restaurant-
so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
And
be here in the morning. I'll
we
pick
run
up my
out
coupon.
of Salt Creek real quick.
bet
We
you do.
sell those in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
week every month.
Remember, tomorrow night's date night.
Oh yeah, Restaurant Row is amazing. I feel like Lori at our front desk actually gets annoyed with Steven and I because we're always going up and bugging her. Okay, Matt, I just wanted to kind of talk about the 3 different companies that had presented last night
Yeah,
at
sure.
the Saugus Union School District board meeting.
Sure.
So the 3 different companies, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at your guys' agenda.
Uh-huh.
So the 3 different companies go by, one of them is Education Support Services Group, so ESS.
Correct.
There was Leadership Association and McPherson and Jacobson.
I think it's Leadership Associates, but
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you are correct. Thank you for correcting me.
hey, no problem.
Okay, so last night, each of them had, I would say, roughly about like 45 minutes to an hour of a presentation.
Right, and that was interesting in itself. We had asked for a total of a 30-minute presentation from each.
Oh.
10 minutes to present, 15 minutes for Q&A, about a 5-minute transition time. But my colleagues and I had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Each one did go a little over their 10-minute time for their presentation, which is fine. And my colleagues were trying to be very respectful, and they were checking in with me as board president. And I said, no, let's get our questions asked. This is not a process that we want to hustle through so that we can get home to dinner, you know.
You did repeat that last night, too,
Yeah.
that you didn't want to rush through this process. You wanted to make sure that Saugus Union had the perfect person in for that job, correct?
Yeah, wanted to make sure my colleagues and I got all of our questions answered and that we had all the information that we needed in order to hire the best fit for our school district.
Which makes
Definitely.
sense. I thought that it was interesting bringing up character a lot. So you guys actually had quite a few questions talking specifically about the Saugus Union School District and the character that you're looking for this specific type of person. And each one had a different answer, actually.
Yeah.
I know you have a little bit of notes.
Yeah,
in
I've
front
got
of
my
you. Do you
notes
want-
from yesterday, yeah.
Do you want to kind of talk about what they specifically were talking about and what you liked and disliked about each different presentation?
Yeah, absolutely. So ESS is the company that we ultimately chose to go with, and they had a great presentation. They're a little bit newer in this space. The other two are a little bit more established. And as my colleagues and I discussed, I think that almost it attracted us to them, that we felt that they were probably a little bit more kind of tuned into the current market, as it were, right? If you're a superintendent that retired 6 months ago versus 6 years ago, you've probably got better contacts to those folks that would be current candidates. And we also thought that they might have a little bit more innovative, a little bit more of an innovative approach.
And sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
ESS is the only candidate that actually doesn't really have ties to the Saugus Union School District. Each one of the other ones actually had somewhat of a little bit of a tie to the Saugus
Sort
Union
of,
School
yeah,
District.
and I'll go over that.
Yeah.
Definitely. They did have a little bit closer connection. But ESS, one of the things that we really liked is this full wraparound service. They provided a very detailed timeline that they were proposing that starts, like I said, and they walked us through what are the different events that they would support us and walk us through, including community survey, reaching out to teachers and staff, district staff, not only parents, but the broader community. And then one of the things that really caught my eye is their service. Once we hire the new superintendent, their service continues for another 2 years, where they step in and they mentor and become a thought partner for the new superintendent. Because especially for someone who might be new to that position, anybody's going to be new to the Saugus community unless they're hired from within. They're going to need that support as to how to handle, because there's a lot of challenging things, as you might imagine, that come across the superintendent's desk. So to have somebody have that kind of support is going to be essential. It's going to be very, very helpful. So that really caught our eye. And they brought just an incredible level of seriousness to the approach. They had kind of an aggressively serious attitude, which really caught my
I thought
ear.
in my personal opinion, it was serious, but it was like almost excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the second group that we talked to, Leadership Associates, they were very serious as well. They were very excited. One of the things that caught my ear is that they were opposed to us settling on a candidate. Like, they were adamant. They did not want us to settle on something that was good enough. They wanted every one of the 5 board members to be excited about who we hire, which I really liked. This is a group that has worked previously, very recently, with 2 other local school districts to help them find their superintendent. They worked with the Hart School District when Mike Coleman left and went to El Dorado, and helped them hire someone ultimately from within, Dr. Mike Vieira, who's doing a great job. And I know they were very happy with the service they got, and of course they're very happy with Dr. Vieira. He's an amazing guy. They also helped the Newhall School, their new superintendent, when Jeff Pelzel left a couple of years back, shortly after the pandemic. They hired a superintendent who was previously an assistant superintendent in the San Diego area, but she's someone that grew up here in Newhall, Dr. Leticia Hernandez, and she went to the Newhall School District, and so she was also kind of part of the family, and I know the Newhall School District is very fortunate to have her. And so that was really one of the things that we found attractive, that they know our community, they know the Santa Clarita community, they know sort of this pool of candidates. But like I said, ultimately there were a couple of things with ESS that pushed us over the top.
Right.
And then the third group that we interviewed was McPherson Jacobson. This is the group that helped us conduct the search when we hired Dr. Hawkins back in 2018. And so, yes, they're extremely familiar with not just the Santa Clarita community, but the Saugus Union School District itself. Following the hiring of Dr. Hawkins, they also provided some consulting services, team building, orientation for board members, professional development, helping us set goals and direction for the superintendent. So they've been very hands-on with us for the last 8 years, and we felt that they had a vested stake in the success of Saugus School District.
Bias.
Right.
I heard that word thrown out a little bit.
So someone did say bias, and yeah, we mentioned it was kind of the 2 sides of the same coin. right? That,
Yeah.
that someone being so close to the process and
Could be good and bad.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And ultimately we did decide to go with someone that was specifically different than the group that we'd used previously.
Yeah. And talking about this search, I mean, I enjoyed all of the presentations. It was a long meeting last night, so
it
if
was,
anybody
and
who
you
was
stuck
not
through
there,
all of it.
I did.
Congratulations.
I got home at 11 p.m. last
Yep.
night, so
Yep.
that's not unusual covering meetings, though. I'm just gonna
No,
throw that
school
out
board
there.
meetings can go long.
Yeah, they can. But talking about this, you guys kind of touched on it a little bit, but it seemed like what I had gathered is you're looking for somebody who is pretty personable and has a great personality when going into Saugus and having a passion about kids.
Yeah. It's funny. For a long time, I was raised by a cop. My father was a police officer with LAPD for 30 years. And so, therefore, all of my network growing up, they were all cops, right? So I grew up around cops' kids. And when I got into education, I saw a quick connection between the chief of police and the superintendent of us, because it is an odd shift of career, right? When you're a cop, you're a cop. And you may be a patrol cop, and then you become a detective, and you move up the ranks, and you become a captain and a
But
lieutenant and all
fundamentally,
this.
you are
But you're a
always-
cop until you become chief of police. And then
You're a
you are a
bureaucrat.
politician who is leading cops. The same thing with a superintendent.
Makes sense.
You're an educator. You could start out as a paraprofessional or a volunteer. You become a teacher. You become a coordinator, a director, a school principal, an assistant superintendent. And then you become a politician. You become a public figure who is leading educators. And so you've got to be a great educator, but you've also got to start filtering in those skills of a politician or a
A leader.
community leader. While communication is always important, it becomes now job number one.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's negotiations that come into it, and the way you work with your labor unions
Right.
is uber important, and that can make or break careers of superintendents. There's so much that goes into it, and so while we're hoping to get quite a few candidates, the skill set for a superintendent is very, very rare.
Of course. I wanted to touch on this a little bit, and we have limited time now, but
Okay.
wanted to touch on this. There was a couple of comments that were just kind of made saying that none of the presenters touched on the elephant in the room. And when we're talking about the elephant in the room, there has been, we've even covered the stories, but
Sure.
there's been quite a few media outlets that's been talking about how some big behaviors has been going on at Saugus Union School District and other just different things. And I did notice that they had some really great things to say about SDSU, but nobody necessarily touched on that specifically or saying, hey, when we do the search, we'll let them know what they're getting into.
Yeah, definitely. We do have some challenges that we're facing in the school district, and those are things that we're taking head on. And there was some discussion about the fact that none of the presentations last night touched on some of our, how would you say, manchas, they say in Spanish, maybe our blemishes, right? Some of us brought that up, and it felt to me like the presentations tried to stay kind of at a more of a 10,000-foot level, right? That we're just looking at leadership and direction for
Right.
the school district, and they did talk about how great we were.
Yeah.
I challenged my colleagues on the board that's our job. Our job is to be focused, laser-like, on those challenges that we're having as we interview these candidates that they bring to us, to see what their track record is in dealing with some of these same types of challenges in their previous positions.
Of course, and even talking about in the future, saying how they would talk about these challenges moving forward, and one of them gave a timeline of 5 years of effectiveness going into that. I think that could be taken very many different ways.
Sure.
But we have about 45 seconds to talk about this more. But it's a very different search in what you guys are looking for now compared to maybe even 8 years ago or 10 years ago.
Sure.
Especially probably with technology and how kids change too.
The district is in a different place than it was 8 years ago. The world, especially the education world, has changed radically over the last 8 years. And so I mentioned all the different things that Dr. Hawkins has been able to do for the Saugus Union School District. And I'm sure that what she's done will leave a legacy, and it will have its mark for a long time to come. But there's something different that we need now. And so we're gonna look for that perfect candidate to help us not only only overcome these challenges that we're facing right now, but move us into that next decade.
All right. Well, KHTS will be covering every step of the way. We are going to be
Look
right
forward
back.
to it.
We're going to be right back heading to break.
And you are listening to your hometown drive on your hometown station. This is kind of funny because now it's like the roles are reversed a little bit here, Matt. Usually I get to participate in your fun trivia section at the end
Big
of,
T's
at
5
the
minutes
end
of
of your
fame, baby.
show. Yes, I'm looking forward to it every week. It's my favorite. Yes, you can catch that here tomorrow on KHTS, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Trivia usually hits at about 9:45 towards the end.
But
of
you
the
can
show.
tune in for the whole show. It's really
Absolutely,
great.
yeah,
just trivia.
yes.
Right.
Wait for
Mom's
the-
the one that waits for my big brother to
Yeah,
call
for
in.
the train wreck
Right.
that is Big Brother. Yes. So anyway, we're going to kind of flip it around here a little bit. But I was looking through. I saw like all these different articles about junk food, and of course it caught my attention, and I thought it was really cool. This one little article that I saw was talking about how an icy, those favorite drinks that everybody loves, especially in the summertime, how it got its name. And it's really because of an accident. The machine broke down. This happened in the 1950s in Kansas City. A Dairy Queen soda fountain broke down. The employee was trying to put the soda bottles in the freezer, only to find out that when they took them out later, they were, of course, frozen, like ices. And that was it. That's all it took. The customers fell in love with the texture. And so the guy thought, okay, well, how do I replicate this? So he bought a machine thinking that, he'd be able to kind of just reproduce that. And then later on, I'd say about 10 years or so, 7-Eleven picked up on that, of course, rebranded it. And then that's how we were introduced to the Slurpee. What's your favorite flavor when you get a Slurpee? Because there's many options.
I go for a suicide usually.
Oh, God.
Well, I'll go
All
with
right,
whatever
there we go.
whatever the dark soda flavor is. Usually it's Dr. Pepper or Coke, right?
Yes.
And then I'll do that with the blue raspberry and the cherry, and then usually one of the others, unless it's like a weird sour one. Those don't always blend well.
Yeah.
So-
If it's like lime green, that can't
Yeah.
be good. Yeah.
You go a little bit
Yeah.
more aggressive than I do. I usually do the Coke cherry mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cherry mix.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then you
just
mix
do
it
the
up and it
blue-
becomes cherry Coke. It's okay.
blue and the red. That's
Blue
my
and red.
yeah, blue and red.
All right.
Yeah, Gatorade flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it tastes like. That's a color.
It tastes like blue.
It tastes like blue. Now it is purple.
Yeah.
Stains your tongue for hours
Oh
afterwards.
yeah, that's the best
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
show up at baseball
Yeah.
practice with blue lips.
You earned it, yeah.
How about
so,
you, Jen?
Oh, my favorite, definitely with Matt. Just the soda. I'm kind of
Cherry
boring.
Coke? Just
the
Yeah,
Coke?
yeah, I love cherry Coke, but I won't have cherry Coke otherwise. It's only in Slurpee
Same.
form.
It
Isn't
tastes
that
different.
weird?
Same.
It tastes different.
know.
I swear.
It's strange, I know.
I'm the opposite. I won't do the cherry Coke like that, but I love cherry Coke outside of it. I don't know.
All right.
Sue
So
me.
Quirks.
cards on the table. When was the last time y'all had a Slurpee?
Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Probably 7-Eleven day.
Exactly. See, I'm a
Yeah.
cheapskate too. The last time I got a Slurpee is when I could get it for free.
Yeah, just bring your own cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to deal with the lines. I mean, I don't know. That's always what kind of, distracts me from, all right, forget it. I don't need it. That's the sign from the universe telling me I don't need it. Okay, so then there's also popsicles, which where did that name come from? You just don't have that name randomly. An 11-year-old little kid accidentally invented the popsicle. This was back in the early 1900s. He left his cup of soda with a stirring stick on the porch overnight. Of course, it freezes.
And
wakes
he
up
was
the
from the
next
Midwest,
day.
so he called it pop, not
Well,
soda. Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, he later named it Epsicle, which is named after his last name, which was Epperson.
Oh.
And 15 years later, I mean, this was 11 years old. 15 years later, he patented the name. So that's a pretty smart young man to be able to
Right.
patent your own little accidental snack. So
And to this day, everybody knows the name Epsicle.
yeah,
Yep.
No, they don't.
something like that.
Yeah. Just like the
Yeah.
Slurpee, somebody must have knocked it off.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys want to go buy Epsicles after
Yeah,
work?
Yeah,
definitely.
it doesn't
That's
roll off
just
the tongue.
not. It sounds too similar to a couple of names that have been in the news lately.
Oh,
and
Yes,
ooh.
we're
true.
not.
Oh,
True.
Jade.
True.
It's
All right. So
bad.
what about
They go home and
nachos?
take a shower.
Nachos.
Let's talk about nachos. Those aren't offensive, right? Nachos are traced back to the border town of in Texas from the 1940s. An employee left alone at a restaurant was kind of trying to hurry up and serve a whole bunch of customers. So he just grabbed what he had in the kitchen. He had some cheese and some tortilla chips that were probably stale. Grabbed those jalapenos too, put them in the oven, baked them, and then that was it. The people were addicted and they came back for more. So, these accidents that you have in the kitchen, it can turn into something good. Don't throw it in the trash. Just, get a little creative, and you've invented.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. I always have to
Alright.
get it at the Dodger games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, do you get the nachos in a little helmet there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
With
There's nothing like
jalapenos?
eating a hot
With
snack out of
jalapenos.
sporting
Jalapenos,
equipment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you love it.
Yes.
There's something so enchanting about that question. You get the ones at like the fair. I won't like it any
I
other
don't
time.
think
but-
it's real
You're
don't
right.
think
It's a
it's real cheese.
situational taste.
I don't think it's real cheese, but I
It's
like
not.
it
It's
anyway.
cheese
Oh,
food.
it's
what
definitely
you
not.
It's a
feed the
cheese flavored product. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is created in a lab somewhere, and it's delicious.
Yeah, and I don't want to know what it is, but I love it.
No? Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening this afternoon. We are all out of time. No more snack talk, unfortunately. You have been listening to with your host, Jade Aubuchon, Sophia Lesseos, Jen Sparks. Thank you, Matt Watson, for joining us. I will
for
see
me,
you
ladies. It was
tomorrow
fun.
morning. We are your local voices, local stories, your hometown drive.